How you doing? This is Ken Jones for JoneZy's Rock Reports. This is a special Rock Reports because we're with a blues band today. It's Phyllis Hopkins and the Electric Trio, and they just released a brand new CD of their music. I got to see their show just, what, it was about a week and a half?
Yes.
And it was an incredible show. And let's talk about the new CD and what you're doing. So, what's going on now?
Okay, well, we obviously, you just said we just released the CD. We put like all different. It's mostly blues, but but there's a lot of different flavors on there. You know, we do a song with George Wesley, like some reggae, and 3 Days in Paris. I don't know what would you call that. I don't know if it's blues.
Kind
it's
of
kind
a
of
pop thing.
Yeah, kind of a pop thing. But we're looking.
It's got a bit of a pop hook, I would say too. I know, like it's definitely got a hook. That's right. I don't know if it's pop or what, but it's got a hook, and you can't shake it. It's
Right. Well, this is my third CD, but it's my first CD with Nolan and Julio. And as soon as I met them, or from the first rehearsal, I knew I wanted to put a CD together with them. I think they're such a great rhythm section.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I wanted to do. So we kind of had fun for like a year and a half, right? Partied like rock stars at Julio's house, and then we decided to get serious.
And then we had
Time to get serious.
And we had no fun making that thing.
Yeah, and then we had.
Then it got serious.
We had to get
fun.
serious.
Right. Well, let's go back to that. Now you've got 2 albums previously.
Yes.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now Nolan's the bass player. What did you do previous to this group?
I did lots of stuff through the years. The last original thing I did was kind of like a hard rock thing. It was called Careless with Eddie Collins from Freefall and Walter Kozar. And I'd done some other original stuff through the years, that was not really commercially viable.
Right.
But, I've done a lot of different things.
You've been playing bass how long?
Oh man, forever. Like 30, it's embarrassing to say.
Right.
35.
Did you start out, like, are you a bass player, or are you a disgruntled guitarist?
Well, I'm a real bass player, but I'm kind of a closet guitar fan. I do play a little guitar. Okay. But I'm not very good.
He sings too.
Oh, I'm a real closet.
Yes, I got to hear you sing George's part.
Oh, that was really wonderful, wasn't it? Yeah, I pride myself on my vocals. But I do what I can. But really, the only thing I'm really comfortable doing is playing bass.
I hadn't heard the CD yet, so I didn't know that was George's part. So I thought you were just stepping all over Phyllis and taking over.
He's
having an ego moment.
No, we had a technical problem.
My pedal
and
shut off. So
so she's fidgeting around with that, and I'm like, well, dead air is bad. So as much as I don't want to do this, I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay, all right.
It was.
You gave me a good ride.
I did what I could, yeah.
Okay, Julio, what were you doing before you hooked up with Phyllis?
I've been playing for a long time. My longest stint was in a band called Black Dog with my brother Nick and another guy, Bill Guerin, and we had about a 10-year ride, doing a lot of Led Zeppelin things and original music. Got to play with a lot of really good musicians, share the stage with a lot of bands, and after that ran out of gas. I ended up in Stingray's blues band,
right,
which is actually where I met Nolan.
Yeah.
Before
they were already rhythm sections.
Phyllis.
And he was my guitar teacher, Stingray.
Stingray,
so that was like, so we as soon as we hooked up, we were like, okay, well, we were out playing like a week and a half later.
Really?
Yeah, it was real fast.
So yeah, we were in that band for probably about a year and a half together, and that project ran out of gas, as they all tend to do eventually, I guess. Hopefully not this one. And then Phyllis calls me one day.
Don't say that.
And I had seen Phyllis, I'd seen her show live, and I knew I liked it. I ended up filling in with her one night when her drummer got sick, and said, hey, if you ever need some fill-in drummer here, this is the guy.
Don't mind.
So then I got a call one day, said I'm going to put something together, and I have this great bass player. His name is Nolan Ayers. I'm like, Nolan Ayers, I know this guy. We worked together before.
Well, it's a small world.
So fast forward to here we are.
Right. Now, so then, the first time I seen you guys at that Blues Fest, which, just for the viewers, the reason it's always JoneZy's Rock Reports is like I'm not very varied in my tastes. I'm a metalhead, as most of you know, and my wife finally got me to go to a blues fest. And when we showed up on the mountain, one band was already ending, so I didn't really get to see them. And the next band was Phyllis Hopkins Electric Trio. And I figured I'm not here to do anything really. I'm just going to sit, have a couple beers, maybe take some pictures. And during the first song, I was hooked. I looked at my wife, because I was up there shooting, and I looked at my wife like, I'm sorry, it took so long, this is great. And I've been a fan ever since. But that was a very early incarnation together then, right? Like
Yeah,
you guys...
because we're really not together that long, like 2 years, a little over 2 years now.
Yeah, and that wasn't this the 2014?
No, it was the
That was
2013. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you were new.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
relatively at the time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That whole day was filled with great music, but I latched onto you guys. I mean, I thought you guys had a little something different than everybody else that was doing things that day, you know, and I've been a fan ever since, so that's why we're doing the special blues report today.
Oh, well,
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
No,
you're doing it.
no
It's
problem.
awesome, you know.
So, the recording of the album, how long did it take you?
We started in January, actually I remember January 29th it was, and it took till about August.
Right.
About August, yeah. It wasn't too long.
Well, she kept writing
Some
songs.
of them,
Just
some of the
kept-
songs were I wrote like a couple of years ago, but I never recorded them, and I always wanted to record them.
Right.
So I finally got those on there, and then there was like 4 songs that I wrote in like the last 2 months of a CD that we were doing, like the Lowdown, Good or
Well,
Bad,
initially,
Just Chillin',
we were going to do
Captain.
an EP. It was
Right.
Yeah.
supposed to be an EP, but that didn't work out at all. There was just
Yeah, I didn't really
there was a plethora of material.
Right.
So we decided to just try to get it done. And I think it turned out really good.
And
Oh, it's great.
I'm
Happy
actually
with it.
ready to start writing new music now. Again.
Your process on this, did you guys have it all like pre-produced yourself before you went into the studio?
Yeah, we mostly arranged everything.
So once you got in
Yeah.
there, it was just
Yeah.
bang it
Ready
out?
to fly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Yeah.
your producer doesn't really
we didn't have
change
we were the
things?
producers.
You were your
Yeah,
own
yeah,
producers,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Wiggy helped me a lot though. Joe. How do you pronounce
Wigleski.
it? Wigleski.
Wiggy, we call him.
Yeah, wait, alright.
He helped a lot.
Yeah, he's a really good engineer, man.
He helped me
sounds
with the
nice.
backup.
It does, it sounds great.
You know, and percussions and things like that. You know.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
helped a lot with that. It
he'd
was
give
really
us
cool.
some guidance once in a while.
Mhm.
It's because some of that I never really did.
Right.
You know, so that was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that. That was really cool.
Yeah, but I mean, we had
Backup,
everything
doing the
blueprinted
backups
out
and-
when we went.
You had it
Yeah.
all
Like,
like
we
full
were-
demoed and ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't like writing in the studio or anything.
Yeah, you're much better off
It's too much.
to
it's
do
too
that. You
expensive.
don't want to go in the
Right.
studio and go, oh, let's try this, and then you go home and go,
Excuse me.
No, you gotta have a pretty
it's
wired,
awful.
if you wanna
Yeah.
do it in any kind of efficient sense,
Okay, so the first track on the new CD was actually on one of your previous CDs.
Correct.
You want to talk about that? Like,
Yes.
it's totally different, so
Yes.
why don't you tell the viewers
Well,
why
it's
you did
not
that?
totally different. It's a lot better, I think.
Mhm.
You know, it's but I didn't change it too much because people really liked it, and I didn't want to change it where they're not gonna, they're like, not gonna recognize it or
Right.
something. But like to me, I always felt that it needed a Chicago blues style harmonica on there.
Mhm.
And at the time, I really didn't know anybody. I did play with Bob, who did the harmonica on it a couple years back. We used to play together, but we kind of lost touch with each other. And then one night we ran into each other, and I was like, "You have to play on my song." I go, "I'm gonna redo the song, and you're gonna play on it." So that's really how this kind of came about, because I really wanted to record it. Because I wrote that song during the flood, the Katrina flood,
Right.
when it hit New Orleans, and like that was one of my favorite places on earth, and I was like watching it and on TV, and it was really weird because I wrote that song and I could only find half the lyrics. Like I never know where the other half of them went. It was like one song that, sometimes they just come out and they just come out like as fast as you could think of them. They come out, and that was
Right.
like that song, and that's usually a good sign when that happens,
Yeah.
But I always felt like it needed that dark, eerie, like swampy, more of a swampy sound to it, and I thought like the harmonica really added to that, So that's why I redid it.
Yeah, it was strange for me because I've been listening to the other version for so long, but it's grown on me. I definitely think it's better now.
Like it's so much fuller, and even like
Yeah.
produce wise, it's a lot better.
Okay, now another thing that changed a lot, because I've seen you live a few times and I've seen you do Millions before, but now you've got
It's like
another
double.
area legend on it with George Wesley, who added his vocals to an already very reggae type sounding
We
song.
used to play it a lot faster too, and like
Right.
more of a rock beat.
Right.
But now it's
Yeah, you
it's
drop
like
it down.
dub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's I love.
We spent a
I,
night
that
with
was
George
the
Wesley
most
learning how to
fun.
play dub reggae.
Dub reggae.
Excuse me. That was the most fun I had playing in the studio. That was like, this is so cool. It
Yeah.
was, you know, everything was slowed down and it just, it sounded really neat.
Right.
That went together pretty fast.
And working with him, he's got to be cool.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Like,
George, he's
the
great.
best. So another thing about Millions, little political for you.
Yeah, yes, it was. You know what, I have to tell you, I listen to George a lot, like his music. I ran into him years back and he gave me a CD and I took it home. Sailing on the Seas of Fate was the name of his CD. And I just fell in love with it. And, you know, and they could be, a lot of reggae artists could be political.
Oh,
and
sure.
stuff, you know. And I just, you know, I used to work out to it and everything, and I thought, you know, I really would like to record with him. You know, so I really, really wanted to record with him. And the song is about millions, where do our millions go, is how much, you know, money we spend on everything that we don't know, we have no idea where it goes. You
Right.
just get charged, you know, you go to the doctors and you don't know where your money's going, you know,
Right.
it's like they just charge you so much. And it's not just healthcare, it's like airlines, like all these hidden fees, you know, like who's making all this money, you know, and it's not us. You know,
Right.
that's all I know. But somebody's,
It's those damn bankers.
he's a banker.
It's
But
definitely not the
I had to
bands.
say
it's
that.
not, you know,
No.
The bands aren't making the money.
I gotta keep my day job, man.
Right.
no, it's like, you know, it's just, it's there, and as Americans, you know, we've been forced to accept this kind of life, and it's not fair. I don't think it's fair at all. And it started happening in, I would say, the late 90s, early 2000. You know, they would bring consultants into businesses and
Right.
tell them, oh, you could charge this and charge them for that. And it's just in everything, you know,
Well, you were
that's the way it is.
you were personally affected, right? Well, didn't I hear you say at a show you were your company downsized or something?
Yeah,
You lost
yeah,
a job.
yeah.
Same thing happened to me. Yep. So, and I'm sure your company was just like mine. It was a multi-million conglomerate, right? And
I don't know if they were multiple,
shut down.
no, they might be,
Right.
but, yeah, and you know, I was there for 19 and a half years,
Right.
you know, and they wanted to get rid of people, like that's how business is now, you know,
Right.
they wanna, just hire part-time people, and they don't have to pay benefits, and they don't have to do anything.
Well, you turned
I
it
won't
into
do
a great song. I mean,
So that's basically what this song is, like, where do our millions go?
right?
you know?
It definitely
And they
resonates.
claim poverty, and our streets are giant potholes, and our sidewalks are ripped up, and, you know, nobody has any money to do anything. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Then you can, when you're writing, I mean, you're very varied because, you know, a strong song like that makes people think and everything, and then, you know, like Jump, a very happy and
Yeah,
positive song.
yeah.
you
That
know,
was
like-
actually about basketball, because I grew up with basketball.
right.
My father was a basketball coach. He did very well as a coach, and then my niece ended up playing.
He coached
basketball.
Bobby Sawyer.
Yeah, he coached Bobby.
Oh,
Sawyer,
really?
Greg
NBA,
Skrepnak.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's in the Wilkes-Barre Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's
did really
he's
good.
really well known.
And then my niece started playing basketball when she was like 3 or 4 years old. I mean, she was like dribbling. And we were like, so anyway, she ended up with a scholarship to Monmouth University, and so that's how I ended up writing the song about basketball. Because I think basketball is like performing art. You know, like you can watch other sports. Like, what do you do? Like they swing the bat. You know, it's like, but basketball, they're like they make it look so good. You know,
Yeah,
like you
a lot
watch
of
it,
grace involved.
it's like performing art or something. Yeah, I love it. So.
When I talked to you, baby, just the other day, I swore I was leaving if you don't change your evil ways. And I try to be fair, try to understand.
Now, we were talking about with the money situation with bands today. A lot of bands have to do multiple gigs, keep their day jobs. Are you guys involved in other projects, or is it just the Phyllis Hopkins Electric Trio? Like,
Oh, you meant music-wise?
music, yeah, I know you all have day jobs, but like, what about other projects? Are you doing anything else, or is this it?
As for me, this is the only serious project I'm involved with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's always fun to jam with people.
Right.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
probably, they
but,
fill in from there.
Yeah, and it's always nice to get a call to fill in on a Friday night if a band needs a drummer. But this is my only serious project.
Okay, how about you, Nolan?
Yeah, this is my main gig. The only other thing I do is I get together with a guy, we play through some jazz standards and stuff once a week. But that's not really gigging.
Right.
You know, but this is my main gig.
That's cool. So many bands I've worked with doing this and other projects. You've got the acoustic duo, the tribute band, like everybody's spread out, that it causes a lot of trouble.
So it keeps us pretty busy.
We did that. I mean, we've done that before. Like that's why we kind of found each other and we like it. So that's why we just stick with the, you know what I mean? Because I did that with my old band. You know, I went out acoustic by myself or played with somebody else. Or,
Right.
You know, but and yeah, and they had another thing going also, and it does cause a lot of conflict. So we're pretty happy at just going out by ourselves and keeping it simple. You
Right.
know, instead of are you available on this day? Are you available on that day? And
Yeah, and when we're not playing a show, Phyllis keeps us pretty busy. You know, we'll rehearse at least once a week, and we're working on original tunes or learning new stuff for the next show.
Right.
So there's enough to keep us busy.
Now, you're not on a label. Are you
No.
actively trying to get on a label? What are your goals in that?
I might pursue something. You know,
Right.
I'm gonna try speaking to some people. And, you know, we haven't actually. I mean, we had the CD release party locally in Pittston and stuff, but.
But you take
No,
care of
mostly
everything
no.
yourselves, right?
Yes,
Like you do
yes.
your bookings.
We don't have any managers
Right.
or anything like that.
Yeah,
Yes, I do it all myself.
Yeah, it's definitely DIY, man.
Right, which seems to be. I mean, even some of the national acts are actually DIY. Like they're all
Yeah.
taking care of things themselves now. It's the business has changed so much. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, business is tough.
Right.
Yeah.
It's, I'm still making the same paltry sums I made
When you first started.
30 years ago.
Right.
That's truthful.
Mhm.
And everybody is,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Less. A lot of people are making less.
yeah, I mean,
Because like in the
it's
70s, it
pretty
was like
challenging.
huge, you know, to be in a band. You
Right.
paid a
Well,
lot of
right,
money.
well, the scene was
Yeah.
way better in the
Yeah.
80s.
Mhm.
Yes.
And it was decent, I think, up until like the 90s.
The late 90s is when everything went psh,
Yeah,
down.
the drunk driving thing really,
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna. I usually ask everybody
Oh,
what they
yeah.
think, and that seems
Oh,
to be.
yeah.
yeah, like in the old days, I mean, it was a lot healthier, I think. You
Mhm.
know, like you
Yeah.
had Free Fall and Hardball and Hybrid Ice.
Right.
They were doing some business, man. They were making some heavy money.
Right.
But it's difficult. But I don't want to sit here and cry. You don't want to hear me cry.
Well,
The only thing that
Musicians
I-
do it because they love it, man. You know, that's,
Well,
that's
yeah,
the
we do
bottom
it 'cause
line,
we like
you
to
know?
do it.
We're not
Right.
doing it to get rich.
Right.
You know?
I mean, the money is a little help for
Mhm.
sure. But if you're doing it for the money, man, you're wasting your time.
right.
The only difference that's good is that people, I notice now, from when I first started playing, that people are more open now to different music.
Mm.
When you first started playing, if you weren't playing songs, people knew. They were like, you know,
Right.
let's get out of here. I started with blues, and I had to go to Allentown and Easton and places like that because around here we couldn't.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't cut it.
Yeah.
But I think, and even like original music, like now, you know, to go out and play original music, I mean, that was unheard of,
Well,
you know.
yeah, in that regard,
we could
it
do that
is
now.
more.
Right.
There are,
And people like it,
more
you know, and
receptive.
that's that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's
you
really
can kind
cool.
of get a niche and do okay. Because I mean, what we do is sort of out of the mainstream. Like we're not doing.
Yeah.
We play some pop music, but not very much.
Mhm.
So, and we work pretty steadily. So that's a testament to that.
Right.
You can't
Yeah.
find a niche if you're decent and you can work. So
Right.
it's not all bad. You know?
Do you have more like? Is there what do I want to call it? Like an outline of a tour, or do you just book as?
Well, right now,
As it comes
we're,
out?
we're really, really busy, like all summer and working with the CD and all that stuff. And so we're actually we're working behind the scene now and doing like a kind of loose show for like January, and
Right.
we're gonna have some new places and stuff like that in January. So
Cool.
We'll be announcing those soon enough.
yeah, we're pretty booked up in October, November, in December we're laid back a little bit. Julio's getting married in November.
Oh yeah.
So
You guys
So-
gonna play?
Maybe you
we're gonna
come
play.
home.
Yeah, we're gonna play his theme song. What's your theme song there, Julio?
If it happens, if I get there, we'll see.
Well, we play Jack's Draft House a lot, and that's a great place. If anybody is from up that way that sees this, that's just a fun.
Yep.
We play there a lot. We play J.J. Bridges a lot, it's a fun. That's turned out to be a really cool gig too.
Yeah.
We recently played Von Luger's. That was
Yeah.
pretty neat. We were a blues band at a jazz act, but it went pretty good.
Yeah.
It really went good.
Yeah, the audience liked it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So next year we're hoping to get more festivals and
Right.
and stuff, get out into the festival scene. So that's why we're going to be working hard at in the next couple months.
Would you ever do the tour circuit, like if another blues band or someone close to your genre asked you to head out with them? Is that something you're looking for, or
If it was possible, if it would depend
Day
because they
jobs,
both
right?
have day jobs. Yeah. So it
Yeah.
would depend on what it entailed.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind working with other musicians, and we're only like 2 hours from New York City, a couple hours from Philadelphia.
Right.
So, I'm hoping to hit down there. So.
Okay, well, one more song on the CD that I think everybody loves is "Celebrate." You want to talk about that one?
Yeah.
What was your writing thoughts on that?
Okay, that song I wrote about. Actually, that was like after I took the buyout at work where I worked. I had to learn how to live off my own skills.
Mhm.
I didn't really want to work for somebody else. I did go for a job, and it turned out to be a nightmare. I mean, I was like, oh, this is bad. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm done. So Celebrate was about just learning how to live from your own skills, from your own hands,
Right.
and surviving, and celebrating the gift that you have.
Mhm.
That's kind of what the song was about.
And here I thought it was about Surge all this time.
Somebody else thought it was about Surge.
I knew because you talked about it at a
Oh,
show
okay.
once. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Okay, let's talk influences and inspirations and all that kind of stuff. I know it's the cliche interview question, but
It's okay.
it's always good. Everybody loves it. So,
Yeah.
when you started out,
When I started out, I was younger. I didn't even play guitar, and I used to listen to all Zeppelin and Aerosmith. But all my favorite songs were their blues songs. And then one of my friends turned me on to Stevie Ray Vaughan, so I go, and I always loved guitar. I always wanted to play guitar, and I waited till I was late in age to do it. I don't know why, but I did. I just decided I'm gonna go take lessons. I was like 24, sorry. So Stevie Ray Vaughan was a big influence, and then I saw Stingray out, and he was playing blues, and I'm like, oh my God, there's blues around here. And so I started taking lessons off of him.
right?
And from there, he introduced me to, oh my gosh, tons of great blues musicians. T-Bone Walker and Magic Sam are two of my huge favorites. Even
Right.
the one song on there, Good or Bad, is definitely written in a Magic Sam format.
Right.
I mean, I wrote the words, but it's definitely influenced by him. And then I also got introduced to a guitar player named Ronnie Earl, and he turned out to be probably my biggest inspiration. And I took 2 classes off him actually in the 90s. They were like a week each at a guitar school
Right.
in Connecticut. So it was pretty awesome. And he actually played on my first CD.
Right.
So
That had to
that was
be
pretty
awesome.
cool. And then we saw him this summer. We only got to meet him.
Yeah, nice guy.
But he's probably my biggest influence. And of course, Hendrix. But
Right.
Hendrix, it came later too.
Mhm.
At first I didn't understand, and then one day I went, oh, now I get it.
I'm the same because
Yeah.
I was never a
Yeah.
Hendrix fan until the same day I became a fan of you. And since then,
Yeah, yeah.
my wife's really
And now
ripped me up.
Yeah, yeah. And now I love him, and I like, you know, there's a song called "Remember" that he wrote, and you know, great lyrics and
Right.
stuff. And
Well, I think everybody at the Blues Fest did a version of Hey Joe. You guys even did.
That's a state.
did we do Hey Joe?
Everybody, I think
No, I don't think
everybody.
we did Hey Joe.
You didn't do Hey Joe
I
that
think
night?
we did. Yeah,
The
the
last-
first year we did.
Because I think
No,
we
we
were
did
laughing
Little
about how everybody.
No, I don't think we did Hey
No?
Joe because usually I don't like to do that because everybody
I
does
know
it. so-
Clarence did it.
We did
Papa
Little
Chubby
Wayne.
did it.
Yeah, you know, maybe you're right.
Magnums
Maybe we
or
didn't
whatever
do it.
they did it. Maybe
We
you
did
guys were
Little
the only
Wayne,
ones
I
that
think.
did it.
Yeah, we
We
did
did
Little
Little
Wayne.
Wayne instead.
Oh, okay.
The staples.
All right.
Yeah.
So Nolan, how about you? Influences, early
Rush,
heroes.
Geddy Lee, big
Yeah.
time. John Paul Jones from Zepp, Steve Harris from Maiden, Jaco Pastorius,
Right.
obviously. Man, there's so many. A lot of the R&B guys.
Mhm.
So much good stuff. There's so many great players, man. Like it's endless, you know. It really is. Marcus Miller, I mean, tons.
And okay, when you were listening to some of that stuff, like 'cause as a bass player myself, like I found listening to Geddy Lee to be too daunting. It almost made me want to just throw the bass away. So like, where did it like come into you that like, okay, I gotta learn this and you know
Well, I
get
just,
to that level,
well, I just liked it so much. I mean, it was just trial and error.
right?
I mean, it was before when I started playing. It was like records and like open reel machines. I used to slow the open reel.
Yeah.
My dad's open reel machine, I'd slow it down. You drop an octave, so you had to watch, but you could get some of it.
Right.
But I mean, it was all trial and error. But I just loved the music so much, and I loved just playing. I was just like, wow. Like I would just spend hours and hours. Like I had no life.
That's the way we had to do it too,
I should've went
by
to-
hearing it, because now you can find it all on the web.
Well, it's
Tab
a
out.
lot easier. Now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
even
Oh, yeah.
even for me, like, you know, if I want to learn something, I'm like, I wonder if it's on YouTube, man. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, here
There
it
you
is.
go.
Because I'm lazy.
Right.
I don't want to spend the time. I'm a busy guy. I don't want to spend my time learning. But it's much easier. There's a lot more tools available now. Like when I started, it was kind of like the black arts, man. Like there
Right.
was no rock and roll school.
No.
It was just trial and error.
Yep. Julio.
Well, I've always been a classic rock guy. John Bonham, you know, always been the guy that I looked to as a drummer. I started when I was a little kid, probably 5 or 6 years old. My father always played. He'd have the friends and the band over the house on Wednesday nights sometimes, Friday nights, Saturday nights. And my brother and I are like, no, this is what adults do. They play music, you know. So we're little kids just growing up around it. So, you know, the inspiration was my father for playing the drums. But as far as drummers go, it's Bonham, and there's not many others of great influence, because I think when it's not just about speed and power for Bonham, it's about the groove, you know. And if you go back and look at what Zeppelin's influences were, you know, like the blues guys, you know, like whoever Howlin' Wolf's drummer was, you know, that's who John Bonham was listening to.
Right.
You know, aside of obviously Gene Krupa and all the greats, you know, but like just get in the groove of the song. And you know, rock and roll and Zeppelin, it's a blues-based music.
Definitely.
Okay, Phyllis, where can we get this? Where can we find your brand new CD?
It's on CD Baby also.
Is
it's
it?
on CD Baby, and it's on iTunes and Amazon and every digital thing that you could imagine it's on.
And you have a .com, right?
Yes, I do. It's a phopkinsband.com.
Okay, so
And like I said, you could just put CD Baby and put my name in there, and they could get that.
But we're selling these
Right
all
on
at
the
the
internet.
shows too.
And we sell
They're
these
available
at
at
Like
all the
actual
shows.
physical CDs.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, for those of you who don't have it yet, you got to get it. So go to CD Baby, look it up. Phyllis Hopkins Electric Trio. No name for it.
Just Phyllis Hopkins.
Just
Electric
that-
Trio.
that's-
Yeah, I was gonna make it. I was just gonna be a sign, you know. Like
Kenny, you can name it for us right now.
Let's see. 3 musicians, 2 windows. That's the name of it.
the attic.
The Attic. Okay. I think that's been done.
Toys in the attic.
There's been different variances of
Hand
Attic.
in the head.
Okay. Well, that's it for JoneZy's Blues Report. We'll be back next month for Eye on Indie Magazine. Take care.